Learning to work with your resistance is huge here too, and this comes back to something I always talk about, not making your emotions a problem. In this case, not making your resistance a problem. You will always feel resistance to a number of things when it comes to your business because work is still work. You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you've come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple six figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in. Hello, my angel faces. Fitting because it's motherfucking December. And right now, I am living my very best life on a 10-day Southern Caribbean cruise. Come over to Instagram. Say hello. I'm sure I'll show some glimpses here and there of the cruise. And for the podcast in December, we are doing some way back playback. So the greatest hits of 2023. That is going to be the vibe for the month of December. I am revamping the highest downloaded podcast episodes in 2023 and bringing them back to your ear holes. It's going to be rad. And before we get into it, let me tell you how you can work with me in 2024. So firstly, we have the High Vibe Holiday Bundle, which is totally insane. It's on sale right now. It's a 90-minute mindset and business intensive with me, my stacked 30-day content challenge, the Empowered and Effortless Sales Bundle, and the content course, Unfiltered and Filthy Rich, all for under $1,000. It's literally insane. And that is at the link in my show notes if you want a fat stack of my hottest offers in 2023 and a full 90-minute intensive with me. And I'm also booking private clients into 2024. This is for coaches and online service providers who are ready to create 5-figure months and 6-figure years, who want to transform their mindset and shift into the identity of a business owner who loves what they do and does it well, and who desire mentorship as they scale into 2024. We do the mindset, the subconscious mind work, and we do all things online business. Your content, your offers, your messaging, etc. The applications for both one-to-one coaching with calls and one-to-one Voxer coaching are at the link in my show notes. Now let's get into today's greatest hits episode, which is all about being consistent as fuck. Because your coach Jill is a consistent little bitch, and I have been since I started my business in 2018. Aside from intentional breaks, holidays, etc., I have stayed consistent in posting online, in running my business since I started this business in 2018. And this has been a huge part of me scaling this coaching business to over $500,000 now in just a couple of years. And I'm going to give it to you straight in this episode because I get asked about this very thing all the time. How do you stay so consistent? How do you always have something to say? How do you show up when I've got kids, life, a job, etc.? I don't have kids. Let me just say that. But I used to have a full-time job, and even though I don't have kids, I still have a very active life, right? So firstly, you have to be okay that life happens. Really, you just have to accept that life is busy, that your kids are demanding, that your job even exists. Like, hating on your job is not going to help you. When I have clients that go on and on about why they haven't been able to be consistent, I honestly tell them it's not worth it to tell me, because you don't need to explain why you're a human being and why life happens, you know? Instead, you need to just repeatedly get back on the horse. I saw a TikTok once talking about ADHD and how people with ADHD have a 100% relapse rate when it comes to their habits and routines, meaning they're always going to fall off of their routines. But that isn't what's important. What's important is that you just get back into it. And this is so fucking huge for me, because as I didn't realize that I had ADHD for my entire childhood and most of my adult life up until the age of 29, I was like, why can't I stick to a routine? Why can't I stick to a habit? How come it's so easy for me to do something for like 2 months or a month and then I just stop doing it one day, right? And I would make it mean so many things about me. But then I learned that it doesn't have to be a problem as long as I just get back on the horse. I learned it was associated to ADHD and I was like, this makes so much sense. So no matter what it is, don't make it a problem that you fall off your routines or if you stop doing something for a day or 2 days or even a week. This is a hump that I've had to get over so many times with clients because they will stop showing up for a couple days or a day or something happens and they're off for a week and they'll be like, oh my God, how do I get back into it? Blah, blah, blah. And you just have to throw yourself into it again and not make it mean anything. No matter what it is. If I have a really good routine for creating content, but then something happens and I fall off of it for a week or two, I just start it up again when I'm ready, you know? Stop spending so much time in the depths of despair about why you fell off and how you can stop yourself from falling off again. Just get back on the horse. I saw another TikTok about the brain and how the brain doesn't understand language by way of words, it understands by way of feelings and behavior. And this guy gave an example of social anxiety and how if you avoid social interaction, the brain will interpret this as it's unsafe to be social, and the anxiety will only increase no matter what you try to tell the brain. Exposure therapy, aka just fucking do it, is super effective when it comes to anxiety disorders for this reason. And this is my philosophy with creating content and showing up as well. You just have to start fucking doing it. The problem is that your perfectionism has to give way here. You cannot prioritize consistency when you are stuck on perfection. And that's just the truth. Half of the time, I hate the graphics that I post, or I want different colors or whatever, or I didn't like what cover photo I chose for my reel. I get over it. I post anyways. I use old photos of myself if I need to. I do the basic screenshot of the Notes app and I upload it. I just fucking get shit done. Even though I probably look at something from a week ago and go, I could have done this better. I could have said this better, whatever. But I just need to fucking do it so it can fucking be done. The more consistent I am, despite the resistance I feel, the easier it has felt to be consistent, the less daunting or heavy it feels. So I actually was coaching a client in the Fraud Squad about this because she was saying how she has this block when it comes to creating content where she thinks, I could improve on this if I didn't post it today, or I could improve how it looks. And it has created this group of work where she has all these things that are unfinished. And I went in our mastermind Voxer chat about how nobody gets to benefit from your work when you don't allow it to be seen. And you are always going to want to improve on the quality of your work, how it looks, the words that you're saying, etc. But nobody can reap the fucking benefits from what you're saying today if you don't post it today. You know, like I just said, I scroll down my feed and I see stuff from like last week, last month, last year, and I'm like, I would say that so differently now. This graphic looks horrible. Like, I would do it this way. But my audience wouldn't have been able to benefit or hear from me if I didn't just post in that moment. If I didn't just upload what I said I would upload. Nobody gets to fucking benefit from your work when you hold it back. Full stop. And that means you don't either. You don't get to benefit, make money, improve when you are constantly seeking that feeling of this is perfect, this is good enough. Okay? Like, newsflash, I don't always feel that way about the content that I post. There are some times where I'm like, oh, I just gotta get something out and this isn't my best work, but that's okay, right? but it's helping somebody, it's doing something, it's moving the fucking needle, and I can always improve. Hey guys, I hope you're loving today's episode. I am just taking a brief pause in today's episode to share with you a client testimonial. These testimonials are either from group coaching clients or clients who are in my one-to-one coaching program. And I can't wait for you to hear how I have changed their lives and their businesses for the better.
She helped me break through limiting beliefs and become more confident and just have a better understanding of why I am the way I am. And she really empowered me to stop seeking validation outside of myself and trust my intuition more and really allow myself to grow rapidly with that self-trust. So if you're someone who's looking to break through limiting beliefs, gain more confidence, and just really step into the woman that you know you can become, I highly, highly recommend hiring Jill.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Now let's get back to the episode. And listen, I think that consistency, the word in general, just gets a bad rap, because what does consistency actually mean? It means whatever you want it to mean. Consistent to me means that my podcast goes out religiously every week, but I don't record every week. Some people do, and that works for them. But for me, I need to prepare to be consistent. So I do a lot of my work in chunks. Like, I schedule and plan my content. I don't do anything on the fly except for Instagram stories. And even so, consistent for my Instagram stories means I post a piece of selling content one time a day. And again, consistent for my podcast means I write the scripts and record a month in advance, and that way it can come out every week without fail. Consistency does not have to mean every day, all day. It just means that I show the fuck up for myself and the tasks in my business. I've also learned that consistency gives way to complication, meaning it's enticing to want to add things onto your plate, shiny new objects like new offers and a new live series and a masterclass every month, but simplicity will keep you consistent. I sell between 1 to 2 offers a month. I do something free every couple of months, like a workshop or a masterclass. I put out my podcast and I put out my Instagram content, and I just don't overload myself with things to do. Like, I'm going to get on TikTok, you guys. It's going to happen, but it's going to happen when I have time to record a bunch of shit in a row, because I just don't want to overload myself. And like when I wrote my best-selling self-published book, You're Not Special, the link is in the show notes to purchase that on Amazon, by the way, I didn't try to write a whole chapter in one sitting or write the whole book in a month. I committed to 30 minutes a day of writing every single day, no matter how I felt, no matter how mediocre the writing felt to me, how much imposter syndrome I had about it. I just wrote the book every day for 30 days. I committed to just being mediocre and simple and consistent instead of this false illusion of perfection. And I got it done, which is actually fucking amazing. Learning to work with your resistance is huge here too. And this comes back to something I always talk about, not making your emotions a problem. In this case, not making your resistance a problem. You will always feel resistance to a number of things when it comes to your business, because work is still work. So many things about my business are exciting and fun, but I also hate writing emails. Writing content can feel so good when it's pouring out of me, but sometimes I'm like, what the fuck am I trying to say? But the resistance I feel doesn't need to be judged. It can just be there, and I can just allow it to be there and still do my job, right? Like, I can have the resistance, the feeling of resistance, and still be like, this doesn't have to mean anything about who I am as a coach. It doesn't have to mean about my success. It doesn't have to mean what I'm going to get done or not. It's just resistance. It's just a feeling in my body. And I totally hear you if you have ADHD like me and have executive dysfunction issues, where sometimes getting started on a task can be so hard, but you gotta break that seal. And this is where ditching perfection comes in. One of my past one-to-one clients had an amazing post where she said that a famous painter would throw paint on his canvas just to get a painting started so he wouldn't get caught in paralysis when it came to his creativity. And that's how I see showing up and doing it consistently, especially because it's an almost everyday thing in the online space. You just gotta fucking do it. You gotta throw paint on the canvas and commit to showing up imperfectly, like truly commit to it. I say this a lot to my clients, but the timeline needs to be released as well. I think a lot of people just give up or drop off because they have an expectation of it should take this amount of time. It shouldn't be taking this long to see results. I'm gonna keep giving it my all up until this point. And these are very unconscious thoughts, but they do affect your consistency over a long period of time. I have always been all in for my business. There's been maybe once or twice when I thought about quitting or not doing it anymore, but that was in the very, very beginning. So the longevity that I have has no ulterior motives, and that's why I'm able to be consistent, because this is my job, this is my career, and I don't have a timeline on when it's supposed to work. And honestly, getting coached keeps me consistent. Being immersed in the industry that I work in, having coaching friends I can lean on for support, and getting coached consistently keeps me plugged into my purpose. Investing in myself and knowing that I have a human brain and it's going to tell me crazy things sometimes is what keeps me consistent, because I don't go very long without being coached on my thoughts. Having a coach and investing in my brain over the past 6 years has truly kept me so consistent. It has kept my skin in the game when it comes to coaching. It has kept me loving the coaching industry and investing in the very thing that I'm trying to sell. And it has helped me quantum leap into my identity and what I think I can have and achieve, because I am constantly up-leveling internally. And something that I want to add to this episode that wasn't in the first iteration was the fact that it is an identity thing for me when it comes to being consistent. I am a coach. I am an online business owner. It is not my entire identity by any means, but it is a piece of my identity to be a coach. And what does that mean about consistency? It means that showing up is just a part of my job. And I don't always want to do my job. I don't always want to show up and sell my fucking offers, but it's my job. It's who I am. Selling my offers, creating content, writing podcast episodes. I'm not always super jazzed to do it, but I do it because it allows me to do my job of coaching, and I fucking love coaching. So just being the person who shows up consistently, that is also a decision that you make as an online business owner. So how much did we love this greatest hits episode, the first one of December? So much fun. Don't forget about the High Vibe Holiday Bundle, where you can get my content course, the Stacked 30-Day Content Challenge, the Empowered and Effortless Sales Bundle, and a 90-minute intensive with me for under $1,000. You can also apply to one-to-one coaching or one-to-one Voxer coaching if you're a coach or online service provider looking to transform your mindset and your business in 2024 and hit those 5-figure months and 6-figure years. Those links are all in the show notes. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. Head to the show notes to learn how you can work with me, where you can buy my best-selling book, You're Not Special, and how to get on my email list for free. Screenshot this episode and add it to your Instagram stories, tagging me at YourCoachJill. See you next time.